So I guess a Hillary Clinton advisor is now being accused of sexual harassment. Uppity Bumpkin sends this. This is from The Cut, and this is from today, actually. So this is my first time hearing about this. Hillary Clinton reportedly chose not to fire advisor accused of repeated sexual harassment. A bombshell new report from the New York Times claims that Hillary Clinton protected an advisor on her 2008 campaign after he was accused of repeated sexual harassment. All right, well, let's go over to the New York Times piece, which is also from today. Hillary Clinton chose to shield a top advisor accused of harassment in 2008. A senior advisor to Hillary Clinton's 2008 presidential campaign who was accused of repeatedly sexually harassing a young subordinate was kept on the campaign at Mrs. Clinton's request, according to 4 people familiar with what took place. Mrs. Clinton's campaign manager at the time recommended that she fire the advisor, Bern Strider, but Mrs. Clinton did not. Instead, Mr. Strider was docked several weeks of pay in order to undergo counseling, and the young woman was moved to a new job. Mr. Strider, who was oh, God. You've got to be shitting me. All right, so this is my first time seeing this, so I'm reacting viscerally. Anybody that knows me knows I am not a fan of Hillary Clinton at all. So this was the guy's job. Anybody ready for this? You guys ready? Ready to know what this guy's job was? Ready? I'm going to keep reading. So this guy was sexually harassing a young subordinate. They moved her to a different job, and they didn't fire this guy. All right? Guess what his job was? You guys ready? Here we go. Here we go. This is what this guy's job was. No spoilers. Here we go. Mr. Strider, who was Mrs. Clinton's faith advisor. Faith advisor. A co-founder of the American Values Network, and sent the candidate scripture readings every morning for months during the campaign. Was hired 5 years later to lead an independent group that supported her 2016 candidacy. Correct the Record, which was created by a close Clinton ally, David Brock. Correct the Record is a Twitter spamming group that basically harasses anybody that's critical of Hillary Clinton. They are literally a Twitter propaganda network. That's exactly what they are. Now, this guy was fired in 2016. He was fired after several months for workplace issues, including allegations that he harassed a young female aide. I guess he thought he got away with it the first time, he'd get away with it again. Unbelievable. How is she any different than the right wing? And that's a rhetorical, I mean, that's a fake question. She is, I mean, she is, this is stuff you hear about the Republicans doing. A faith advisor who sends you scripture. And what's that? What's the phrase? Those who silent sinners scream the loudest. This guy founds a values network. He's the faith-based guy. He's correcting misinformation on Twitter, and he's sexually harassing his coworkers. And who gets punished? The coworkers do. Maybe that woman liked where she was and didn't want a new job, but now they forced her into one. Unbelievable. You want me to talk about something? Tweet me an article about it. It's at Ron Placone on Twitter. Man. This is so terrible. But not surprising at all. Like this is just not surprising at all. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I guess we'll see how this unfolds. I mean, right now this is still just one article in the New York Times. So, you know, I don't really know all the details about it as of right now. This is my first time seeing anything about it. Thank you for tweeting it to me. He was the faith advisor. Why does any politician need a faith advisor? Why does anybody need that? Like, really, why do we need that? I feel like if you need a faith advisor, you shouldn't be running for office. If you need somebody on a daily basis to tell you what faith you should be subscribing to, how you should be subscribing to it, and giving you verses from a bizarre, archaic fiction novel called the Bible, you shouldn't be running for anything. You should be running for nothing. Because clearly, if an article of her makes it to the New York Times, of all places, it's probably worse. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like, this isn't from like The Onion, shockingly enough. Like, this totally isn't from The Onion. This is from because some of us need accountability in our faith as in other things. Well, Robbie, I think that's really sad. I think that's really sad if you need a person to tell you what to do about your faith on a daily basis. If you have religious beliefs or whatever, that's fine. That's your right. All power to you. But you really need somebody on a daily basis to advise you on it. It's not that hard. It really isn't that hard. Just try to be a good person. Why do you need a faith advisor? That's some. I didn't even. To be honest, I didn't really know that was like a designated position for like a candidate. But that's like one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. The fact that somebody draws a salary. Oh, and look at what this guy was doing. He was sexually harassing other people. That's what he was doing. He was sexually harassing people. Well, he made a values network. Well, he is correct. The record is still on Twitter, by the way. Twitter claims they're cracking down on quote-unquote spam accounts, on quote-unquote propaganda accounts. Meanwhile, correct the record is an open propaganda account. That's exactly what they are. They will anybody critical of Hillary Clinton, they just go and harass people. That's what they do. And they're open about that. That's what they do. They are vocal about this is what we do, this is what we're for. All right, let's move on. Yet another person Clinton kept on the payroll who never should have been. Yeah, yeah, I mean, she could not have picked a worse group of people to surround herself with for that campaign. Yeah, Jesse brings up Ferret. I mean, Peter Dow, a 3-time loser, a professional loser. That is the only thing that man has accomplished in his life. He is a professional loser, and he's made really shitty limousine liberals, new age jazz albums that hopefully no more than 10 people ever listen to. Unbelievable. Hey guys, thanks for watching. That was a clip from Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. What does that mean? That means I log on to a stream and people tweet me articles over on Twitter at Ron Placone, or they use our Reddit subsection, which is just Get Your News On with Ron over on Reddit. And that's how we build the show. I'm seeing all these articles for the first time. We are literally getting our news on together. Follow me on Twitter at Ron Placone so you can participate. And this show streams live every Tuesday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please do tune in. If you want to support this show, you can do so over on patreon.com/Ron Placone, where for as low as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive podcasts every week, exclusive videos, free tickets to shows when I'm performing in your town, and more for as low as $1 a month. Please do consider it. Thank you so much for your support. This has been Get Your News On with Ron.